I don't know how to start this shit.
One. I cannot do this. How do y'all do this? How?
I cannot talk.
You guys wanted an blah 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 blah. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to me too. It's been a while since I made one of these videos and I forgot how awkward and weird and hard it is to make one of these videos. So please, 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 if it's awkward, if there's any awkward moments, like right now, excuse all of that. So in my last video, I talked about being a new grad and starting off my nursing career as a peritoneal dialysis nurse, and that was a few months ago. And so since then, a couple of you guys have commented on that video saying that you guys want an update, and so here I am giving you guys a little update. I thought about how to update you guys as of now, so I'm thinking about doing like a timeline of since I started working up until now, and kind of talking about like what I did, challenges I faced, and all that stuff. So I started working at the very beginning of January and I've trained for 4 months. What I basically did was I learned a little bit from my 4 other co-workers I had at work. So basically I just watched a lot of transfer set changes from these co-workers. I watched them deal with peritonitis cases, which for some reason during my training there was like a high percentage at my clinic. So I got to learn a lot about what to do for when a patient comes in with signs and symptoms of peritonitis and how we're supposed to act on it based on our policies and procedures. So, I learned a lot. Like, it's funny because my coworkers joke around saying like I'm the queen of peritonitis because like I got to be very hands-on with peritonitis cases. And then it wasn't until like maybe 2 months after that I started to become very, very hands-on. Like, I got to do a bunch of transfer set changes. I got to collect effluent for when a patient did come in for peritonitis. I got to like administer IP antibiotics to my patients, and yeah, it was just a lot of being hands-on in those areas. And so it was very interesting, learning about peritoneal dialysis as a new grad training, because this is like a whole new thing for me. As you guys probably know, like if you've gone through nursing school, you probably haven't learned much about dialysis, especially about peritoneal dialysis. Like, that was the case for me. If anything, like in nursing school, it was maybe like a paragraph about dialysis, and they like mentioned peritoneal dialysis. Like, you don't really learn much about it. And so those first 4 months from when I trained, that was like very eye-opening, so fascinating. I guess like a challenge that I faced during that time was not only the fact that I'm a new nurse. Being a new nurse, you're inexperienced, you don't really have as much knowledge as you want, and you're just very new to the setting, to like your work environment, all that stuff. But on top of that, for me, peritoneal dialysis is a specialty, and so a few of my coworkers, they've told me that it's very rare for a new grad to be in peritoneal dialysis. So that was definitely a challenge because I don't know much about peritoneal dialysis, and so I had to like learn basically from the very beginning. And even though that was a challenge, that was like the most awesome thing for me, because I've realized that I love to learn about peritoneal dialysis. Like, I love learning about what it is, what it takes. I love applying that kind of knowledge to my patients. Like, I feel like I'm actually helping my patients, versus in nursing school, you just learn from the books, and yeah, you apply it like later on, but you don't have your own patients to apply it to, if that makes sense. So that was very interesting, like those 4 months of training. it was like a lot of information thrown at me. So it was all very overwhelming, but all so extremely interesting. So after my 4 months of training, they send you off. So my company, after you train, they send you off for a week long of PD prep class, which for my experience, basically my company, they sent me out to San Antonio. So I'm from California. I work here in California. But you know, the PD prep class I signed up for was in San Antonio. So that was about like the end of April. Also on that Monday, I flew out to San Antonio. And Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday was just 8 hours per day of just learning in class all about peritoneal dialysis. So I got to learn a little bit more in depth about KT over Vs, which is about adequacy, making sure your patients are being adequately dialysized. I got to learn a lot about PET tests, which I think it means the peritoneal equilibration test, something along those lines. But basically that test determines what kind of membrane your patient has. So it's very interesting learning about the different types of membranes and how that is something that we need to consider when we're providing dialysis to our patients. On that Friday, so that Friday morning is when I took my exam, and then I passed, so yay. I passed with a 94%, and in the afternoon, that was when I was sent back home to California. And the next week I came back, and I was no longer in training anymore. So I really enjoyed that week because like I said earlier, I love the whole learning aspect of this job and applying it to your patients. Like, I think that is amazing. So then after training, I kind of just helped out a lot with my coworkers, just with their patients getting blood draws. So with me, getting a patient's blood was something that I was very inexperienced with, and so my coworkers knew that I needed a lot of practice with that. So like during my months of training and then after my months of training, you know, I got a lot of practice with getting people's blood. I especially helped out my one coworker with her patient load because that coworker was starting a new thing in our clinic, which she is now starting off group training, which is when she trains like 2 patients at a time, 4 patients in a day. And so that was something new, something that we were experimenting, and so I helped that one coworker out with her patient load, basically get their blood draws in, monitor their labs, get them in to see the doctor, all that stuff. So that's basically what I did like right after training. And then in July, that was when I got my first set of patients, and that was a challenge too, because not only am I supposed to, you know, get the blood draws in, get them in to see the doctor, but you know, I have to do like everything, you know, from a nursing role. So like, let's say they need to be referred to, you know, like a hospital because a doctor wants a KUB done, like I need to follow through with that. Or if a doctor wants the patient to go back on chemo, like I need to follow through with that order. It's no longer me just like helping, but it's like me being like the primary nurse. And so that was, you know, challenging just because I had to learn a lot about time management and learn a lot about what it means to be a primary nurse to these patients. And I did not want to let them down at all. You live and learn with each day, that's for sure. And another challenge that I faced during that time was that like half of my patients, they were not being adequately dialysized, as proven by the KT over V results. So with the KT over V results, they need to be at 1.7 or higher. So basically the night before or like the day before, they have to collect their effluent, which is the drainage that comes out after the solution dwells in their stomach. And so the effluent, and then they need to do a 24-hour urine collection. And when they come in, I'm supposed to collect the effluent, the urine. I'm also supposed to collect their blood. So basically that shows like how well their blood is cleared out versus their effluent and urine, like how much toxins are in that versus how much toxins are in their blood during that time. So they needed to reach a 1.7 or above. Half of my patients did not reach that. So that was a challenge in itself because, you know, me being a new grad nurse, especially being a new grad in peritoneal dialysis, like that was when I needed to really learn about what I need to do, like what changes I needed to do for my patient's prescription in order for them to get dialyzed and like truly get dialyzed. Like their urea is being cleared out, hopefully their creatinine is being cleared out, all that stuff. And the K2/V only tests urea, so you know, you really have to look at creatinine because, like, yeah, if urea is being cleared out, that's great, but urea is a smaller molecular weight than creatinine. So if urea is being cleared out, creatinine may not be being cleared out. So those are like a lot of things that I learned in my first month as a primary nurse to these patients, especially with the patients whose K2/Vs were failing. So that was a challenge by itself. And then another challenge I kind of faced was, like, you know, dealing with the doctors. They have very I would say they have very strong personalities, let's put it that way. Like, they're very strong, they know what they're doing, so they expect you to know what you're doing. You know, you kind of fake it till you make it type of thing. So right now I'm in that period where I'm pretty much faking it. I'm trying to make it, but I'm not quite there. So that has been like another challenge in itself, and so I'm trying to prove myself to these doctors. I'm trying to like build that like professional relationship with them where, like, you know, I'm their patient's nurse, like you guys can trust me. So I'm trying to, like, you know, really establish that with them. So that has been a challenge in itself too. So that's basically like what I'm doing right now. Like, I still have my patient load. I'm still learning about the, you know, how to establish myself as a nurse here. I still have a few patients who are not passing their K2/V, so I'm still figuring that out. Yeah, like, I've been here for 8 months already, and I absolutely love this job. Like, there's so many reasons why I love this job, from like me having very consistent hours. Like, that has been very nice. Like, I work Tuesdays through Fridays for 10 hours each day, so I get every weekend off, so that's extremely nice. I have such amazing coworkers. Like, they are so fun to work with, and they're all so supportive. They're so kind. They're just awesome. Like, I love my coworkers. They're the reasons why I love my job. And then on top of that, the company that I work for, they provide so many learning opportunities for you. Like, it's crazy. Like, from educational events to, you know, like PowerPoint presentations, I guess you would say, like online. I absolutely love the fact that this company focuses so much on our nurses learning, and that's just what I love about this company so much. And then the fact that the stuff that I'm learning, like, I get to actually apply it to my patients. Like, that is, like, I feel like that's like the best way to learn. So that has been something that I'm like enjoying. I'm loving it so far. Peritoneal dialysis is so interesting. Like, a whole challenge about it is that, you know, this is my first time like really learning about it, so it's like me going to nursing school all over again, but specifically for peritoneal dialysis. But even though that has been a challenge, it has been like one of the best challenges I have to face with so far. Like, I enjoy this challenge. So there's like my little update for you guys. I know a couple of you guys are thinking about being a peritoneal dialysis nurse, or you've been presented with the opportunity, or whatever it may be. But like, honestly, like, I don't know if I'm being biased or not, but like, for me, like, this job has been working out so extremely well. I love it. I feel like I'm gonna be a peritoneal dialysis nurse like forever. It's honestly like the best feeling ever for me. I really hope this video was helpful to you guys. I will try to update you guys once more. Let me know if there's anything you guys want me to talk about, because you know, I'll be very willing to talk about those things. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope to see you guys again, and I hope you guys have a very awesome day, and it's a beautiful day to save lives. Okay, bye guys.